We're live. Let me see. All right. We have a real, not a crisis, but there's this clarity that empaths are dealing with, right? You're not cold, you're clear, you're conscious. For a long time, a lot of empathetic people, they showed up for other people emotionally, right? They represented emotional stability, emotional stability for other people. But a lot of times, before you turn around and realize it, that empathy, that care, the patience, the understanding that you give to people to their benefit was to your detriment. And it didn't really serve you. And a lot of times your empathy could be used against you. So the empaths, for a long time, showing up for other people meant self-sacrifice. Sometimes it meant in a weird way, you kind of diminish what you need. You self-sacrifice. You shrink in that situation or relationship without even realizing it. And before you know it, you're the shell of yourself, but you've made that other person or this group of people feel empowered, right? So the narcissist, not the narcissist, but the empath, we're gonna get to the narcissist. But the empath is like this slow decay, this slow unaliving of their own emotional well-being, even spiritual, even on a spiritual level. It's just like the saying goes, man. Like for a long time, uh, good people get tired of being good people. What's up, IDK 41 dash K1D? What's up? How you doing? Where you from? Said, what's the stream about? The stream is about when the empath stops caring. It's a very dangerous place, a very dangerous situation for the world in general when the empath stop caring. Because your care represented emotional stability, it represented support that a lot of, with the empath, a lot of people don't get that type of emotional support in their lives from the empath. They don't get that emotional stability. They don't get the care. They don't have somebody in their life that really tries to understand them and looks out for them. And the crazy part about it is that um, yeah, I'm from the US too, bro. He said, yo, today at school I asked my crush to be my girlfriend. She said yes, bro. Shout out to Adrian Correa. Korea. Shout out to Adrian, man. Adrian making his dreams come true. Y'all hit the like button. Adrian, where you from? I didn't know they still do that. Shout out to Adrian though. So for a long time, the empath, right? They'll recognize the weaknesses in these people that they're with. Whether it's a friendship, whether it's family, whether it's your woman, whoever you with, or vice versa. The empath is not that see, a lot of times a narcissist will see your vulnerabilities. They'll see areas in your life where you may be emotionally unstable, and they'll weaponize that and use that against you. On the flip side, the empath is not that they're so caring and loving. No, they see those same weaknesses. They see the vulnerabilities. They see the flaws. They see the insecurities that other people have, But instead of manipulating those vulnerabilities and insecurities, what the empath does is they protect them. They nurture those insecurities, those vulnerabilities, and they work to try to empower and uplift that person instead of trying to take advantage of them like a narcissist or other people in society would. One of the hardest things to do in life, yo, is to get people around you that actually cares. Um, he said, how you, Sean University? Who's? I've been good, bro. Where are you from, Sean? Said, I'm him. Shout out to I'm him. Peace, I'm him. He said, Andre, WGR. What's up, bro? I hit the like button. Yeah, one of the hardest things to do in the world is to actually get people in this world to actually care about you. How many people could say they got somebody in their life that care about them? One friend, one person. Sometimes you feel like you're in a family situation where you feel like people don't care about you. Sometimes you're around a whole friend group. Them friends don't care about you. The whole friend group is based off of events, partying, going out, talking to girls, meeting girls. Like, how many people you can actually call up when you actually going through something to say, yo, man, like you busy? Like, you could talk to them for real and they'll hear you out. They won't say, oh man, I'm busy right now, I gotta go. It's hard in this world to find people around you that actually care. Um, Andre says, I sub, shout out to me. Shout out to Andre. Welcome to the family, bro. Appreciate it. I'm a digital nomad working on a YouTube channel right now in San Diego. Shout out to Sean. He said 42. Just go, man. Just go, man. You know, you're going to find your people and your people are going to find you. You're going to find your people and your people are going to find you. So just go, man. Like I was saying, man, the empath is one of the ones. The empath is one of the few people that people come across in their lifetime, and they oftentimes never run into these people again, where you actually have somebody in your life that actually cares about you. Most people that you come across in your life, whatever phase that you was in your life, it's a surface level relationship. Not saying that you're unworthy of having that type of person in your life that's loyal to you and care about you. But most people are surface level, right? Most people are transactional. That's how the world is. But the empath is a person that's deeper, that can walk into the room and they can sense the emotions of the people in the room. They could sense the vulnerabilities. And they're very compassionate people, right? The empath is very compassionate when it comes to dealing with others, when it comes to dealing with, you know, people that struggle with certain things. They're the one that's there, and that's rare. He said, how do we attract other empaths? A lot of times, I think it happens both ways, where sometimes opposites attract, but a lot of times you run into the same type of people, where who you are creates who you attract. So just by being an empath, man, by being compassionate, understanding, and you can see this person from a distance. These people are rare, and once they show up in their life, they're gonna show up and treat you right. But once they're gone, they're never coming back. Um, just people that have understanding, man. But when the empath is done, when the empath stops caring, rather, right? They come to understanding that for a long time, they've been self-sacrificing. They've been in situations, relationships that benefit other people more than it benefited them. And it's to their own detriment, and it's like a tired. It's an exhaustion, but it's really clarity. Because when you understand, it's like this. When you finally understand that the people that you're showing up for or available to aren't reciprocating and don't intend on reciprocating that same energy in return, It's like you like why keep going? Why keep showing up for this person when they're never gonna show up for you? Why keep being the emotional stabilizer, but your issues, your problems, the things that you have to deal with gets neglected, swept under the rug? Now, earlier the narcissist, not the narcissist, the earlier the empath would try to justify this neglect as like, it's all right. That's just how they are. They're busy. They're tired. They're having a long. You'll make up all these excuses for people that don't show up for you and help you the same way you help them, right? So the empath becomes it's a slow awakening. It's where you get people chances after chances after chances, right? It's access to you, and a lot of times you feel drained because it takes a lot of energy to care, to show up for people. That's rare as hell. I don't care where you from, um, how old you are, whatever. Having somebody in your life that actually shows up for you for like that is rare. Is extremely rare, right? So the empath, when you're an empathetic person, when you're compassionate, when you want to believe that the world is a great place, right, or a good place, you can get into a mentality where you want to believe in the best of people. You want to see people in a greater light, meaning you see people's potential and you try to speak to that. When you become done, you don't see people, you don't try to push people to their potential. You don't see their potential. You see them as who they are, for how they consistently show up, for how the relationship has consistently gone, for the treatment, for the energy that you get or don't get. You just start seeing the reality instead of stop, speaking to people's potential. Again, that hope that somebody could be better and do better, that can get used against you. Because that same person, let's say it's a narcissist, they can give off a persona or play a character to make you believe that they're going to do better. Oh, next time, I'll improve. Or they could just give this hopeful energy as if they know that you're not getting what you need. You may not be getting treated right, but they're gonna do better. They're working on it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a hopeful attitude, but it's never gonna come around. They want you to be in a hopeful space, but they're never gonna actually get to that point. The empath sees everything. It's almost like a very it's something breaks inside of them in the empath. The one that always showed up, cared, etc. Something breaks inside of them. Again, it's like when a good guy or a good girl turns into a villain. Where you just become so clear, where you get tired of being undermined, we get tired of being neglected in all these situations, and you just say, I'm done. You get tired of showing up for people that don't really show up for you. You get tired of putting your energy out into the world, and it's like it's not being reciprocated. A lot of times you tell yourself you want, if you have friends or whatever, family or a girl, whoever, you want to tell yourself that you're loyal. So you show up with loyalty. You show up. But it's only when you start realizing that there's been a disloyalty the whole time. There's been all these situations that you've been in. You were the only one being loyal. You were the only one showing up for other people. But when you really look at it, when you really turn around and look back at a lot of these situations in your life, how many times can you say when you needed something, somebody showed up for you? The same people that you usually help actually showed up for you, picked up your phone call when you needed help. So you were abandoned in your most vulnerable times. You were neglected. But you kept thinking, damn, I showed up for a lot of people. That's because they were using your empathy against you. So after this clarity, you just get done. The empath is not that they turn evil. It's not that they all of a sudden lose their compassion or their understanding or their care or their, wanting to see people do better, but they stop self-sacrificing. They really could care less, and the empath is dangerous when they get done because they're so on to the games. Like a lot of people would try to use your goodness against you. Um, Most people, the way the society's getting in general, it's a cold place. Most people don't care about you caring about them. They'll just see that as an opportunity to exploit that. They'll see that as a tool to exploit. They don't really care about, most people don't really care about relationships, man. Especially after like you get to a certain point in life, like I'd say like about 25, 25, 26, 27. The majority of people that you meet don't give a fuck. They just don't care about anything. All that caring and showing off for people and loyalty, those are just words and tools and strategies. You know what I mean? It's just tools and strategies. Somebody, Eddie said, Eddie Puranto, hello, what's up, Eddie? Somebody said, don't turn off the lights, is boring. What? I don't know what you mean. Which way? I don't know which way you mean. Um, yeah, man. After a certain age, after a certain point, nobody cares about loyalty. Like all these words are thrown around like so easily. Friend, but in the empath's mind, they're gonna be there for their friend. In their mind, uh, it's like you're supposed to be a friend. They have this moral code, this moral correction about them that doesn't allow them to take advantage of the people in their lives. Doesn't allow them um to do things, to see vulnerabilities in people and hurt them and use that against them. You know what I mean? But they stop after that. They stop caring. They'll leave you to yourself. They'll leave you to yourself. They'll leave you to all those things that you have to deal with, even though they're in a position to help you. They just get done. So the empath, the modern day empath, is no longer used. That's why there's a panic. A lot of narcissistic type of individuals, there's a panic going on. There's always searching, they looking, because the same energy that they were still able to extract from for a long time is no longer there. Now they don't have that person that they can use to make them feel better or to use as supply for financial means. You know what I mean? For, oh, I need help with this, I need help with that. It's almost like when you sit down in a chair and somebody just pulls the chair from underneath you. You fall, right? You fall, you get scared, you try to catch yourself. You know what I mean? That's the same thing for these narcissistic people. When the empath gets done, there's no more support. There's no more what do you call it? Stability. It's like a loss of stability in their life. Who is this guy? Heis? Well, funny as hell. Yeah, so it's just done, man. And you got to preserve all your energy. You got to keep all your peace. You get to prioritize like your mind. Um, these people will go as far as to like, it's an obsession too. They'll go as far as go through different means to try to gain access to you. They try to text, call, you block them there. They go on social media, you block them there. They send you an email. And it's like a lot of these people that really relied, like your energy, when an empathetic person has really good energy, right? That compassionate and understanding self, it's a presence in a lot of people's lives, and like they don't know what to do when they don't have it, and it's scary. Now they realize they're alone. They have nobody to lean on. They have nobody to help them in a lot of these different situations in their life, personal, financial, people with advice, people with, something goes on with them, they need some place to stay, or it's like that person is gone. There's no more supply. But a lot of it really has to do with energy and like the internal stability of people. Like the empath gave a lot of people validation, always cheering for them, always supporting them, always showing up for people, whether it's an event, something they accomplish, or just every day. Like they come outside, the empath wants you to feel empowered. They'll give you a compliment, they'll uplift you. So on social media, whatever. Now people are becoming more vulnerable, more insecure because they have nobody around them to give them that same validation anymore. So they don't even know, they're growing uncertain. They're feeling weaker because they have nobody, they don't have this supportive, in their mind, it's like you was a little cheerleader or something. You was always there to support them, but that individual never reciprocated in the energy. So the empath stopped giving just to give, stopped being there because they felt obligated to be there. Nah, they done. It's without a care in the world. It's without a care of anybody being hurt. It's without a care of, people being mad. They could be mad all they want. They could lose their mind. They could, They could cuss them out. They could whatever. But they stop. They stop with the self-sacrificing. They're prioritizing themselves, and they could even get to a dark empath, right? The dark empath is really dangerous because they'll stop. The dark empath will actually play games with you because they understand people look for empathy. They understand people look for compassion. So they'll manipulate that to get what they want from time to time. They have the ability to tap into that narcissistic state. And the reason why they could do that is because they dealt with so many narcissists over a period of time, they get tired of it. They get tired of the mind games and the manipulation. So they'll start to use that. They'll tap into that narcissistic mindset to get what they want. And after that, they'll pull away. It's just in general, people are tired, man. People don't want to sacrifice themselves anymore for a relationship or for a job or for the world in general. And there's awakening happening right now on a spiritual level. People trying to understand why they can't access you. People trying to understand why you're no longer available to talk, why you can't help. You're refusing to help. Some of y'all not even picking up the phone anymore. Because good people in general are done. Empaths are done. And it's a panic. It's a search. But the more you look, the more you realize nobody's really there. And even when it comes to technology, like with AI too, like AI, man, AI is really, on one end, I feel like it's desensitizing people to where we're no longer having as much human connection. As the days go by, as the weeks go by, as the years go by, we're not having as much human connection as we once did. And that's making people crave empathy. Like I researched, and they were talking about how the jobs and the careers that are gonna make the most money in this next century, in the next couple of years, the next few decades, is the empathetic jobs. Is jobs in relation to human connection. So that's your folks at the hospital. That's the people that your counselors, your psychologists, but also people with personal brands. But the only way to keep being in that state, that compassionate state, you got to protect your energy. Like, you just can't let yourself be around anybody with that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's draining, especially when you're not getting reciprocated. You're not getting the same energy in return. A lot of people think like if you're an understanding and compassionate individual, you're supposed to always be there, even though you're not getting what you need in return. They think your empathy or your compassion is a personal obligation. Like you have to keep showing up this way. You have to keep doing this, even if they're not giving you anything in return. It's almost like they start looking at you as if you have a job to do. You have a job to show up for me. This is your job. You better be compassionate. You better be understanding, even though I'm not giving you anything in return. And sometimes the people that's giving this energy gets treated like shit. They get treated like shit, and it's like the empath stops being understanding. They stop being good. They stop being so morally correct, morally righteous. They stop being on this moral high ground of helping and giving to others, but then in return they being mistreated in certain instances. They gone. They're done. Finito. Finito, man. Finito. They done. So empaths get tired, bro. Let me see. Somebody said, shout out to Bestie. What you call Kai? What Kai say? He said, how to respond to someone who asks, what do you mean by that? Ask space. What do you mean by that? I don't know what you mean by the question. Like, I'm not, what do you mean ask space? Ask for space, or what do you mean by that? Kai said, he pulled away claiming he needed space to show up and not be stressed in and wanted to ground himself. Oh, yeah. That's what an empath could do, man. Showing up, and then but you get drained in return. You need your energy. If you really there, I mean, and show up for them, be supportive of that. That's all you can really do. If somebody tell you they need space, just be supportive of that energy. You don't want to pull them out of that. They're telling you what you need or what they need. You could just support that. And if you get mad and throw a tantrum, they're gonna be done with you. When somebody tells you that they need space, they're not trying to be stretched thin, they feel exhausted, they feel tired, they need to pour back into themselves, and you get mad about that, you're showing that what they need doesn't really matter. He was breaking up and had a side chick. Oh, that okay. I see what situation you're talking about. You're talking about actual relationship. Yeah. A lot of times when you hear that talk, there's usually either, I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's either somebody else or they really going through something. But in most cases, what people are going through is not that. It's not that deep to the point where they need space away from somebody they're in a relationship with, because that person could really be there for them. So a lot of times in those cases, it's probably somebody else. I'm not gonna lie. Most likely on both sides. Like when a woman say that, there's somebody else. You lose 9 times out of 10. Nobody really needs space for anything. You'll make space for the right person, in my opinion, if you ask me. Like you'll go out of your way and you'll make space for the right person. You'll be happy as hell to be in the right space for the right person. Yeah. Yeah, man, to be honest. To be completely honest. You get done. get done, get tired. When you spend when you spend so long um, just being there for people, it's only natural to your mind to say, "Yo, hold on, where's all these people that I need there for me?" And a lot of times, the people that you helping for a long time, you realize ain't shit. I mean, sometimes you can overextend yourself to the wrong people. So when the empath is done, when the empath stops caring, they stop caring to the wrong people for the most part. Everybody's a little different, but they really stop caring for people that don't reciprocate, that don't appreciate what the energy that they're giving, the understanding, the compassion, the being available, the showing up when nobody else is showing up for this person. You're there, you get done. Um, and you realize all that you were doing is really like it's in vain. It gets thrown out the window. Is dismissed. And all these instances that you're constantly showing up, when you sit back and really take a good look at it, these people didn't really care. They really gave no fucks. They did not care. They did not really cherish the energy that and the support that you were always giving. So the empath, like they throw their hands up. They're like, they're done. This world is changing, man. And narcissistic type of individuals, they they don't know what to do. They've lost control. They lost um the energy leak, like this source of energy that always gave this attention and compassion and patience and understanding and always showing up for them. They just get done, guys. They get really done out here. I got a lot of bots in my chat. I usually have a lot of bots. So, um, you got to put yourself first. You can't let people drain you. And that's why you have to protect your energy at all costs. Like, that's how the world is. Like I said, we live in a very surface level world. We live in a world where, for the most part, people are seen as tools in this world. This world is becoming less and less human. It's been that way for a long time. And a lot of times you think it's the people that are the most morally correct or are on the moral high ground that get done the most, swept under the rug, overlooked, probably don't make as much money. And the people that objectify human beings, really don't care about nobody or nothing. It's almost like that more cold, narcissistic approach allows people to get further ahead in life, right? Um, like I said, even with AI, it's just exposing how people really crave um, empathetic people. It's refreshing. It's that energy is almost is divine to where people will go out of their way, like just for any other service, just for their phone bill, um, for food. People will go out of their way to get empathy, to get that type of personality, that type of energy in their life. The empath makes you feel like you're getting uh what do you call it? Undivided attention. Like you just having full attention what you need, what you want matters. Like the caring, the loving, the understanding, and it's an energy behind that. It's spiritual, right? The empath makes people feel seen. They make people feel heard, uplifted. There's a light about them that people can sense, and when they walk into a room, they can light up the room. They're very light in their energy. They're very caring and understanding, and that's missing on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people aren't even cared for by their own family a lot of times, by the people that surround them in their environment. So that empath represents light. It's like as soon as they come in the building, everybody feels better, everybody feels seen, everybody feels heard. Your day starts getting better because they have an energy about them that lifts people. But the narcissist, they'll drain that. It's really the narcissist's fault where the empath becomes cold or dark, to where they say, you know what, fuck this. I can't do this no more. I'm not doing it. I feel like I'm giving this energy, but in return, I'm being mistreated. In return, I'm being drained. I'm helpful. I'm supportive. I'm giving, but this person I'm in a situation with, they're not really giving me anything back in return. So they turn into a villain. You have to have really, really strong boundaries with people to protect yourself, because if you don't, you'll give and give without demanding anything in return. And the people that once got used in that way, where their energy was extracted a lot, they're the ones that have the strongest boundaries, because they refuse to have their energy played with. They refuse to be extracted from. They refuse to be used as a tool. And a lot of times when you move in that way, when you're compassionate, understanding, it gets overlooked and it doesn't get appreciated until you're gone. It's like your silence or your absence has more weight than your presence does. It's like people don't really know what they have until that individual is gone. You know what I mean? You can have somebody in your life all the time, be with them, chill with them all day, every day, but you really don't understand how valuable that person is when they're gone. Kai said, I don't know what to believe or if I should bet. Just follow your instincts. Trust your gut. I don't know what you're picking up from that situation, but just trust your instincts with that. Betsy said, amen. Shout out to Betsy. Trust your instincts, man. And that's another thing you just reminded me of, when an empath on a spiritual level, they can tell that the energy that they've been giving out to the world hasn't been appreciated. When they can tell that they can feel this void, they can, like, it's like reality starts to kick in for them. It's undeniable. It's just reality. It's cold reality, where they realize all the energy that they've been giving out to the world is never directed back to them. It's never given back to them. And if it is, it's like little breadcrumbs, because people, natural psychology says, this person is not going to come back if I don't at least give them something in return. But for the narcissist, that something is little breadcrumbs. It's little breadcrumbs. It's not really what you truly deserve. How are you giving people full course meals, but you getting like little breadcrumbs in return, to where you're not feeling valued, you're not feeling respected, you're not feeling the reciprocation of the energy. So the empath is aware of this, man. It's like, yeah, that energy is gone, man. Some people are colder than others, man, when they really don't care anymore. But it's dangerous, because there's no more supply. No more supply. A lot of times, if you're an empath, when you stop caring, when you stop giving, when you stop showing up for people like that, your phone is going to blow up. Eyes are going to be on you more than ever before, because people are going to try to understand where they at. Like, where did they go? Where's this source of light? Where's this source of energy? This person that always showed up for me when nobody else did. When this person always, I could call them when I can't call nobody else. When I needed something, they were always there. Um, where's this person? Like, where are they? Where did they go? What are they doing? Where they at? Are they alive? What people? You're this big source of energy without even realizing it. You did a lot for people. And how you showed up for people like really changed their whole life. And most people they're not gonna forget you. As you move on, move forward, you're not forgotten. Not that you care again, not that you even care, because you're not even in the relationship anymore. You're not even in the situation. But you're done. But people are always gonna be looking for you. They're always gonna be looking for you. They watching you, don't worry. Uh, best believe they watching you. They're looking and trying to see where you at, what you doing, because they never met somebody like you before. They never had somebody show up for them. They never had somebody care. It's rare to have people in your life that care. A lot of people live their whole life, or they really felt like in all the situations they were in, they would never really care for. Nobody really gave a fuck about them or really showed up for them like that. Some people go through that don't really have a family. Maybe they were adopted. Maybe, you don't know what situation they came from, right? You're the one person that cared. The empathetic person is a caring person. And for the most part, we live in a world that nobody cares about anybody. It's give me, every man for himself, and give me what I need, and I'll push you to the side, right? Nobody cares. We live in a cold world where nobody gives a fuck. You know? Yeah. So when an empath stops caring, man, they're able to build that energy within themselves. They get a boost of energy. Now they're able to take that same energy and manifest their dreams. They're able to take that energy and become the best version of themselves. But it really builds a lot of self-respect, because while you're in situations where you're giving and the people that you're around not really appreciating and reciprocating that energy, so they really build this self up, build up self-respect. The spirit becomes more empowered. So the same energy that and the same life and empowerment that they gave to other people into the world, they build that up within themselves. And they might look like a villain after that. They might look like a villain, like they might look dangerous. But no, they're not bad. They're not evil. But they self-respected. They're not dimming their light for anybody. They refuse to self-sacrifice. They're not putting others before themselves. And they're not allowing anyone to diminish their power just to keep the peace. A lot of times with an empath, well, I don't know why I did this before. I don't know where the fuck this came from. But sometimes when you're around certain people and you got a certain energy about you, you could almost shrink to make other people feel better, because if you show up being your true self, it's gonna cause jealousy, it's gonna cause envy. Your confidence, your light, your swag, your personality, when you really show up being who you truly are, is going to make other people feel a type of way. It's gonna cause friction. So you'll kind of dial back, you kind of dim yourself a little bit so that other people won't feel inferior to you or less than, or whatever the case is. But it's not your job to do that. It's not your job to do that. And how are you going to really show and live in your full potential when you dim yourself down to comfort other people? But again, these people could care less about you. These people could care less about what you have going on. They don't care about that. And a lot of people want you to be in that position where you're dimming yourself to make them feel better, because it makes them feel better. It benefits them, right? So you have to be selfish. The narcissist is going to get pissed off at this. They don't want you to be selfish. They don't want you to look out for yourself. They don't want you to even think about yourself. The only person you're supposed to think about is them. It's almost like when a narcissistic type of person deals with an empath, it's almost like a rider and a chauffeur. It's like being a superstar with a limousine driver, with a person at the front. They driving, they rolling down the back window. You need anything? How you feeling today, sir? It's like I'm this superstar, and this is this person always there for me, helping me. But they don't really respect you if they see you in that position. But that's how it's like. It's like a superstar or a business CEO having a limousine driver. That's the dynamic. But the empath snaps. The empath wakes up one day and realizes they value, um, and they stop giving. They stop entertaining the dynamic, because for them it was genuine, it was sincere, it was actually real care, um, and being there, really being there for that person in their life. It was real. It wasn't it wasn't anything selfish about it. And again, they saw the bullshit in these people. They saw the insecurities, the flaws, the vulnerabilities, but they intentionally withheld using those things against them. They could have manipulated that person. They could have used their vulnerabilities and their insecurities and their flaws and their weaknesses against them. They could have done it. They could have done it, but they just chose not to, because for the empath, it doesn't do anything for them, to where if they was to knock somebody down, it doesn't do anything to them for them. It doesn't empower them or give them energy to destroy somebody's life like it does the narcissist. It doesn't strip away, um, it doesn't make them feel any better to knock somebody else down, right? So they see them, but they protect it. They nurture those things. They don't try to go out of their way to take advantage of people, even though they're in the right position to do it and they have the knowledge. They're fully aware of this person's flaws and weaknesses. They can do it. They just deliberately choose not to. It's not that they're naive or they can't see it. They just choose not to do it because taking advantage of people in that way doesn't empower them. It doesn't give them any energy. It doesn't make their situation better. So they just choose not to do it, but they could. The dark empath, on the other hand, they could. They sometimes do. If you push certain buttons, they would do it. Or if they just get tired and they don't care, they'll do it. And that's why nobody can really trust anybody these days, because you got people that are used to taking advantage of certain individual. They get used to manipulating people, manipulating situations. They get used to running over certain types of people. But there's a counter. Where people walk around, they got tired of being a good guy. They got tired of being an empath. They got tired of doing the right thing, tired of showing up, tired of being loyal, tired of self-sacrificing to empower other people. And they're just as willing to sometimes, yes, take advantage of other people. But in reality, it's more so that they don't care. They refuse to even entertain those kind of dynamics, to where they're really being a goody two-shoe. They're helpful, they're there, they're available, they're compassionate. But this person in the past realized that was just met with disrespect, use, just being used, and no reciprocation. So they stopped caring. So when somebody comes across, a lot of times, a narcissistic type of person, they would try to they'll try to love bomb you. They'll try to show up and give you all this energy as if they really care, just to reel you in. And then they show you another side of them. Then they show you that they don't care. Now they making these demands that they feel like need to be met, or else I'm not going to deal with you anymore. And the empath say, okay, you don't want to rock with me? Cool, peace, I'm out. They don't care about maintaining these relationships. They don't need them. They don't The narcissist would try to make you believe that without you, they try to make you believe that without them, you're done. You won't make it in life. You won't find anybody else like me. You won't, but that's the exact opposite. They understand that that empathetic person that they're dealing with, they can't live without them. They can't live without that energy. They don't know what to do if that light and that source of care and help and encouragement and emotional support, emotional stability, excuse me, if that emotional stability is gone, they don't know what to do. So they try to make you feel like you can't live without them, but in reality, they can't live without you. So it's scary out here, man. The person, the type of the personality type and the spiritual type that people are always able to lean on isn't there. There's no chair. You can't sit down. Now they have to stand up and figure it out for themselves. So you have the narcissistic, manipulative type of person walking around. They can no longer manipulate people like they once did. They can no longer gaslight. They can no longer extract, resources, energy. They can't gain control over those same caring and empathetic type of individuals. And on the flip side, the empaths or the previous empaths are dangerous. They don't care. They're not giving. They're not understanding towards anybody but themselves. All the energy that they once put out to other people, they put it in directing it towards themselves to making their situation, their life better. And they could care less about giving that energy to people because they just got tired. They did it for so long, and it's like, yo, this isn't working. I'm giving, I'm understanding, showing up for people, celebrating my friends, but nobody does that for me. So they just get done, and they never return to that. And if they do give that same energy out, they set out strong and hard boundaries, and that now you have to really earn that version of them, that part of them that was caring and loving and all that. You have to really work hard to get there, because they're not gonna easily let anybody come back into their energy to extract what's really cherished, this value, this asset, this energy, this this empathy is really valuable. And why would you let somebody so easily get something that's highly valuable, So the empath might have had a lot of softness to them, but now they're stone cold. Now they're hard. Now they're not going to just easily let anybody come into their life and extract their energy and get their care, get the nurturing. It's like a nurturing kind of spirit. It could be a man, not saying that it's always a woman, but empaths are men too. Men could be empaths too. It's a nurturing kind of thing. Most people, they lack, due to childhood trauma, whatever the case is, upbringings. A lot of people, again, walk around feeling like nobody cares about them. So the the empath represents the person that actually cares. It's a nurturing kind of spirit. But you got to work hard to get in that place. Because men could be very nurturing too. Men could be very nurturing in relationships with our friends or with our women. We can have a nurturing spirit too. But you got to work hard to get that in today's day. People are done. Good people are tired of being good people. And it's not just one situation. It's not just me. It's not just a few people. It's the entire society in America. I even think around the world, because I even see content from people that's all the way in Jamaica and Africa and all over the world, where people are up on game when it comes to narcissists, the games, the manipulation, the control tactics, the gaslighting, and the really succubus spirit, to where this person wants to pull on your empathy, on your care, on your love, on your concern, on your consistency, always showing up, always being there for them. People try to pull on that. And then you feel drained, you feel depleted. You losing resources, or you're giving too much of your resources away. A lot of times the empath realizes that for a long time, they have simply just been manipulated. They have been used, their empathy has been used as a tool against them, and they're done. And they're aware, they're clear, they understand what has been done. It's a psychological and spiritual awakening, and they're no longer going back. They're finished. So the narcissist, their own game is being used against them in a slightly different way. In a slightly different way, their own game is being used against them. Toxic people, their own games are being used against them. Cold world. Cold world. So, protect your energy out here, man. Set hard boundaries. I mean, you shouldn't have to say that. People shouldn't easily get your most valuable assets. And a lot of times for the empath, your most valuable asset is your energy, your light, your concern, your care, your emotional well-being, your spirit, your presence. But when you realize how valuable that is in all these different situations you could look back on, you learn how to protect it. You learn how to set boundaries. And you can no longer really return to just being given like that because you realize that was a mistake and that was being used. Ka said, "Are you on Discord? I subbed." I don't think so. Appreciate the sub though. Shout out to Kai. Appreciate welcome to the family. Yeah, you're an asset. Just who you are as a person. See, a lot of times when we think about assets, we think about, you got a car, you have a business, you have a skill set, you have a certain intellectual property, you have certain skills, you have a certain gift. Your greatest asset is you. Telling y'all, man, you don't really understand. Your presence alone in a lot of people's lives it was like golden. And now they don't know what to do now that you're not there. You just being there and showing up, you don't realize how powerful your energy is. And an empath goes through a lot of pain and trials and tribulations. Why? Because of everything I just said. The years of being neglected and trying to figure out why you weren't getting a certain treatment, but you always gave love out to the world. There's a lot of pain. It's almost like an emotional confinement. Like in jail and prison, how they have solitary confinement. You've been under your own internal confinement to where you feel like you're the only one there and nobody's ever pouring into you the way you give to them. You get tired of that. You get tired of sacrificing yourself in that way, emotionally, internally. So you are your greatest asset. Just your presence, just you showing up changed a lot of people's lives. Just you being there. It's you stabilize rooms. You change workplaces. You shift organizations. Any area that you step into, you bless it with your presence because you have a spiritual gift. See, that empathy, that caring, that being there for people, that's not normal. That energy, that spirit is not normal. But the narcissist never wanted you to realize that. They never wanted you to figure out how powerful you were. They knew how powerful you were. They know how valuable you are, but they just have to make sure to undermine your confidence to make you think that you're nothing or you're not that valuable so that they can keep extracting from you. Because once you understand how valuable you are and how powerful your energy is and how much you mean to spaces, places, relationships, how much you mean to people in terms of how you make them feel by giving them that compassion. Once you understand how valuable and powerful that is, you're gonna start taxing. You're gonna start making demands. You can even start threatening people if you want to. threatening people to not show up, threatening people to leave, threatening people to abandon them. But for the most part, you know that you deserve better, or a better person, or a better situation, or a better job. The world is able to control people with low self-esteem. I just did a video the other day talking about your confidence is under attack. Um, as long as people can keep you feeling small, as long as people can keep you in doubt, not knowing your value, in a place of low self-esteem, they can wrap you around their little pinky and have you there because they convince you that you don't really have that much value. So you're gonna do whatever. People that aren't that confident are more easy to control, and they tolerate a lot more bullshit than they should because they don't know their value. You gotta know your value, but the empath that stopped caring, the even dark empath, they woken up to their value. They realize, because if people are always trying to use you for a certain task or just for your presence, you don't try to go out of your way to use somebody or something that doesn't have any value. Why would you? You don't do that. You don't even think to do that. You only use things and have people in your life who you value. And so the empath wakes up to this, and it's an anger because you've been stripped of time. You've been stripped of your energy. You've been stripped of the greatest resource that you have, which is you, your energy, your spirit, your compassion. And all of these are actually skills. These are human skills that most people don't have but need to learn. Because the society will actually be better if people were more just understanding, open, empathetic, and a little bit more patient with people. But that's why they're rare. And that's also why their services in high demand. Outside of tech, outside of trades, is the empath who is in high demand. It's like out of all humans, like they're the most human. They're the most understanding. But when you wake up to who you really are, when you wake up and understand that what you've been giving out to the world is really powerful and really valuable, you stop giving it so easily. You start guarding it and protecting it. You stop overgiving it, and you really cherish it and value it for yourself. You even can start taxing it. You even can start taxing your energy. You can tax who you are. This shit is not normal, man. It's not normal to be empathetic and caring. It's rare. Most people aren't like that. Some people aren't wired that way. Some people can learn it, but it's really the highest form of humanity is being empathetic, being understanding and caring towards other human beings, being loving, which is what we all should be doing on a planet. That's why the world is so fucked up in the first place, because we don't care about each other. We don't give a shit about each other, right? So you probably have the number one asset that most people are looking for, that even companies are looking for. Awaken Express, you see others aren't worthy of it. Yeah, a lot of people, shout out to Empress, shout out to Ebony. You realize you've been given all this gift of being loving, caring, nurturing, understanding, patient, consistent, showing up for people, showing up with your presence, having your heart kind of open in that way, right? When you see that energy isn't being respected or really valued and appreciated, it's an anger. It's not just that you stop. The empath they don't just stop. They get mad. You get mad because you feel like time is going by. You wasted time and energy giving this precious, valuable asset that you have to people that could really care less. And they just use it as a tool against you for their benefit. There's anger in that. That's almost like saying, you working for a company, let's say you're doing tech work, and they're only paying you like 80 grand a year. But then you come across another company and they give you a job offer and they offering you $130,000, the same skill set, the same resume, the same experience, but they offer you way more money. And you get mad. You're like, yo, hold on, what the fuck? You mean you tell me this whole time I'm worth six figures, but they've been paying me 70, 80,000? You get mad because you feel like you've been extracted from, taken advantage from, taken for granted. You've been placed in a smaller role. People took advantage of you, right? You feel taken advantage of. It's the same thing that happens to the empath. You have this powerful spirit. You have the greatest. You operate in a greatest sense of humanity, caring, understanding, patient, loving, um, loyal, right? But you're just giving it to the wrong people. And if you just, like I said, if you go to another company, another person, that energy will really be cherished and valued because it is. And a narcissist wants you to believe that you're nothing, you're not gonna find anyone like me. You need me, but really they need you. And so when they feel like they're losing you, that's when they start pulling that card. Where you gonna go? Um, Ain't nobody want you, or you ain't gonna find nobody anyways, um, or the company could try to make you feel like, so you think you're gonna go somewhere and get a job, or you think you being an entrepreneur is gonna work out. I mean, what if it doesn't work out? See, the narcissist wants you to believe that nothing is gonna work out for you because they know deep down inside it really can and it will. They want to keep you in this space of fear, of doubt, because their greatest fear is that you're going to wake up and realize how much value you have, and you're going to execute, and you're going to make it, and you're going to be successful. That's their greatest fear. They want you in complete doubt. They want to undermine your confidence. They want to make you feel small. They want to completely discourage you, because it's not that you don't have value, but they want to blind you to your own value, because they know if you really woke up. Let me tell y'all something. I gotta get close for this shit. For all y'all empaths out there, for people that feel like they've been overlooked, a lot of y'all, you've been lied to. I'm just telling you straight up, you've been lied to. A lot of people have been lied to their whole life. If you really woke up and really understand how valuable you are, you wouldn't tolerate half of the shit you have going on in your life. There's a campaign to make us feel less about ourselves. There's a campaign to undermine you, to keep you in a space of low self-esteem, of not seeing and realizing your own value. Because when you don't feel like you have any value, or you don't see your full value, you accept anything. You tolerate anything. You put up with anything. You accept any type of work. So this is a sweet spot, though, for the narcissist, of bringing you down. They break you down, have to break you down, and put you into a space where your confidence starts wearing down. They start breaking you down and start chipping away at your confidence. Again, this could be a company. Companies do this to employees that they know are the shit. They know they have so much talent and value, but they can't let them know how great they are, because if they understood how great they were, they'll know that they can go somewhere else and get paid more, or start their own business or whatever, right? Relationships, men, women, same thing. They got to keep you feeling low. They got to keep you feeling down. They have to make you doubt yourself, feeling small, because you'll stay. It's only the empowered empath, meaning that you're aware of your own value. Only empowered people leave to get into better situations. Ebony said, it only hurts once you know it's not you. Yeah, it's not you. It's not you that was unworthy. It was them. They were unworthy of your time. They got you. They wanted you walking around feeling like you were unworthy of them, but they were the ones unworthy of you. You gotta protect your mind. Ka said my reaction was to say, "Nah, it's not for me," because I was so hurt. But I took the request for space as a breakup. But I could have fucked that one up if he was legit. I understand what you're saying, but you gotta trust your instincts when you're dealing with people. Um, Sometimes you can feel like you did something wrong or whatever, but you gotta deep down, you gotta be honest with yourself, trust your instincts. And I don't know that situation with that relationship, but you just gotta trust your gut, man. Um, do you how has the relationship been? Were y'all on good terms? Was the love there? Was the intimacy there? Was the mind, the connections was y'all laughing and having a good time? Or was there like friction and that's why they said they need space? Because if there's friction and there's like, negativity, negative energy, that I need space could lead to that situation ending, to be honest with you. But if y'all having a good time and they all of a sudden say I need space, it's kind of weird. But I say just you know better than me. So a lot of times we ask for help. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you are the best knower of your situation. You're in it. So you would know more than anybody else. That's why I don't like for a lot of times I don't like taking advice from people when I'm like in relationships because they're on the outside looking in. I mean, you can get an opinion or a perspective, but you're gonna know more than anybody else because you're the one that's in it. So a lot of times our own judgment could be better if we trust it. Sometimes it's intuitive, it's spiritual. Um, Joe, Joe, I was gonna say the name wrong. Joemi, she said, Randy, what's for dinner? We want to know. Oh, you talking about you want me to be out here cooking? Uh, Not a goddamn thing. Trying to get. I need to be cooked for. I need to know what you cooking. What you making tonight? I like me some salmon, yo. You got me thinking about food now. I'm about to get like tomorrow. I think I'm gonna get me some Jamaican. I definitely should get me some Jamaican food tomorrow. I was about to close this up like uh like 20 minutes ago, and I just kept going on. Um, yeah, man. Y'all protect your energy and don't dim your light for anybody. We gotta wake up, y'all. A lot of changes are happening in this world, and I realize the way to go up in the world is not externally. It's not necessarily about the people that you're around or external things, external factors. It's really about on the inside. Um, yeah, a lot of y'all been lied to, man. A lot of people are a lot greater than they think they are. They just been made to feel small, made to feel less than. So you tolerate bullshit. That's why I say you gotta master yourself. Or be on a journey or a path to mastery. There's a lot going on in the news right now. It's a lot going on with obviously the economy. There's a lot going on with AI. It's a lot. I've been keeping up, y'all. I've been working to keep up. But if you're in this live right now, blessings are on your way. Blessings are on its way to you. And this new year is gonna be great, man. This new year is gonna be dope. Um, you gotta be aware of these situations, yo. You can't You can't be out here lacking, man. We in 2026, yo. You can't be out here just being around anybody, just sharing space with anybody, just tolerating anything. Um, you gotta trust God. You gotta trust the divine. A lot of y'all got spiritual teams. You gotta trust your instincts when you're around people, yo, and move in silence. And if you do let people into your life, just make them earn it. Make them earn that trust. Make them earn your presence, right? We aren't really taught these things. It's like we have to learn these things. Some people learn it the hard way. Some people fortunate enough to have parents that really ingrained them and trained them and prepared them in that way. But a lot of times people learn from hard experiences, and these experiences really make big changes. I've been having big shifts in my life recently, with how I just move. You know what I'm saying? Kai said, "Thank you for taking the time to respond to me, even though my questions were at basic and self-centered rather than on your topic." It's all good. It's all within the topic, but I don't know exactly the situation. I know you don't want to speak on it. Probably don't want to speak on it publicly, but yeah, just trust yourself on the situation. Um, yeah, relationships can be complicated. That's what I like to say. It's complicated. Well, you want to trust your gut, and you know that person, you know your partner more than anybody else. Uh, yeah, but what you said, she said what? And somebody say they need space. Somebody tell me they need space, man. I'm gonna tell them take all the space you want. See, when somebody know that you're afraid of leaving them, or you're afraid of them leaving you, they got power over you. When they know that you're afraid to lose them, they can use that against you. Motherfucker tell me they need space, take all the space you want. Fuck that. Cause a lot of times that might be like a fear and control tactic. Oh, I need some space. You know what they want you to do? Oh no, no, no. What do you mean? You need space? They want you to be in a state of being afraid of losing them. That's the first thought you have when somebody say they need space. Oh, they think about going somewhere else. Oh, they trying to separate from me. Oh, take all the fucking space you want. I ain't about to let these females out here play with me. You understand me? Joannery 9714. What's up? Shout out to Joanne. Hit the like button, subscribe. Yeah, that makes sense. Haha, love you. Yeah. Take all the damn space you need, man. You ain't about to be fear mongering nobody. The fear mongering. That might just be the situation. Just trying to make you afraid of losing them. Take all the space you want. I was just looking up some crazy stuff, y'all. A lot of these, this is off topic, but a lot of these marriages and shit got me scared, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Marriage. I just saw Steve Nash. If anybody knows basketball, y'all know Steve Nash, one of the greatest. Bro said Steve Nash is a white man, if you don't know. He got married to a Brazilian woman. They were married. They already had kids before, like 2 to 3 kids. Another one was on the way. They're in the emergency room. She's delivering the baby. The baby comes out black. Yo, he said that same night after the hospital, he ran and filed for divorce. And the baby was by somebody else. Obviously a black man too, but He's like, you can't trust nobody. What else I saw? Anthony Anderson. Anybody knows Anthony Anderson? He's a great like comedic actor. He was dating this girl since college. They got married after college, and she filed for divorce. He's been giving her money ever since because of the, they didn't sign a prenup. And recently, she just worked the prenuptial contract, or not the contract, but she just worked something out in the court. Well, now she's getting $20,000 a month off of all his hard work. So it's like, yo, I ain't tripping off of none of y'all, man. I'm not tripping off of marriage. Like I said, shout out to Kai. Somebody told me they need space. Take all the space you want. You might be doing me a favor. You might be the one to mess me up. $20,000 a month? What do you need $20,000 a month for? I think they have kids together. I think that might be child support. What do you need $20,000 a month for? $20,000 a month, bro? That's some crazy work. Yeah, yeah. It's cold as hell out here. Literally and figuratively. If y'all in New York area, y'all know it's cold. Somebody like, what's her name? Ebony. You might want to stay in Florida. I don't know why anybody would want to be up here in the cold. So, I got to go, y'all. Have a great night. Appreciate y'all for coming through. For the ones that join the chat, feel free to donate to the channel. Cash App, $ Randy Harlequin 3. Ka said good night and thank you. Yeah, no, thank you for coming through. Flower Girl, where do you come from? She said rich people gotta live different. So, empaths are done, man. They're done giving that energy to the wrong people. They're done self-sacrificing to serve others. And they're really becoming more selfish. Protect your energy, y'all. That's it. Have a good night.